Hello, welcome back, y'all. It is July 29th, and we're going to go over today's daily reveal. We've been covering everything on the RS Leagues to Equilibrium. So, today, let's see what we have, huh? Let's start with the video they released. Divine Druid and Transmutation. Summoning. That's very nice. Okay. Boost to div. Ooh. Transmutation. Alrighty. That's pretty neat. We got Divine Druid and Transmutation. Transmutation was a relic in the most recent old school league, Demonic Packs. So we'll see if it's similar. First up, we got Divine Druid. Grants Thera's Summoning Pouch, a pouch that stores grimy herbs and charms. Acts as an infinite spirit shard in summoning pouches. Okay. That's cool. Infinite spirit shard summoning pouches, summoning or spirit shards, big money sink in summoning, so don't need that. Stores your grimy herbs. I don't know if it's useful. It's like a herb sack. It's fine. Charms gives you some more inventory space, I guess. Hopefully the charming imp will pick up and deposit straight into that. Cleaning grimy herbs turns them directly into unfinished potions. That's very nice. You don't have to spend, cuts down on a lot of the time prepping potions. Grimy herbs charms can be found frequently when mining, fishing, woodcutting, siphoning, or excavating archaeology hotspots. Okay, this is big. That's very big. When I was talking about the tier 1 relics, I was looking at Golden Touch because it gives you herbs, but this one pairs well with the other two, so that's pretty huge. Grimy herbs are cleaned all at once, which means clean the herbs in your inventory. Boom, they're all instantly unfinished potions. Super nice. 50% chance to create an extra pouch per pouch created, sent directly to the bank. Assuming that'll give the summoning XP for that extra pouch, it'll be a 50% boost to your summoning XP. And just more familiars. So you have to make less. All charm drops from defeating enemies are increased by 5x. That's cool. If you take this relic, it seems like you're just going to have unreal amount of charms. Good summoning solve. Summoning familiars which boost skills now boost them by 3x the amount. Okay, that's pretty freaking strong. There's a bunch of familiars that'll boost random stats, and usually they're in like the 4 to 5 range. So they'll boost them up to 12, 15. That's awesome. Gain a 75% chance to save some ingredients when creating potions. I feel like they could have went higher with this, but they could have made it like 90% probably. Still really strong at 75%. A lot less things you have to gather. When crafting pouches, you will also make 10 of the respective familiar scroll. Oh, okay, that's nice. That makes it so that when you like a lot of those skill boost ones, it's like the scroll activation that gives you the boost. So you'll just be getting scrolls, so you don't have to break down your pouches. That's nice. Always gather enriched memories. With divination being kind of hard to train in the early game in this league because of the era of region locking, you'd have to. One of the best methods to train div early is through dungeoneering. So you'd have to take wilderness and Asgarnia, so you can get that, and Kandarin. You'd have to go wilderness, Asgarnia, Kandarin to be able to do divination, dungeoneering divination correctly. And yeah, so that's nice. You get more XP from those enriched memories, more energies. That's nice. Converting energies and memories together only requires half as many energies rounded down. Okay. So when you're doing div, you can offer energies with the memories to get more XP, and I guess that just makes it so maybe you can permanently do that with this. Maybe you'll have enough energies from collecting to be able to then dump them all for XP. Converting memories at a 10% chance to give a random porter or divine charge sent directly to the bank. That is very nice. Will cut down on how much energy you have to collect to make porters and divine charges. And that's a pretty good chance. I mean, you'll have a lot of porters and charges from that. I wonder what kind of porter. I wonder if it's going to be equal to the tier that you are converting, or if it's just random. You might be able to get some like the top tier porters without having the level for it. Memory strands are gained at 10x rate. Nice. Chronicle fragments give 2 times XP. They already don't give a ton, but I guess that's a little buff. Crafting items from divine energies only requires half as many energies rounded down. Okay, just the same thing where like you don't have to collect as many energies this league, which is nice. And you unlock all milder potion recipes. Oh, that one's actually pretty huge. That'll give you the big one that coming to mind right away is the perfect plus potion. Let's see what other ones we got here. But the perfect plus potion is all perfect juju potions combined into a very long boost as well. Myler potion. Let's see. Unreadable page. This is the one. So yeah, perfect plus, and then supreme overload salve, which are not the most useful potions, but the big one's gonna be for that perfect plus. That's gonna be a really nice buff. So yeah, that's very strong, very strong. I wish we knew what tiers these were so we could really see like how strong they are compared to what tier they'll be in, but I guess we'll have to wait. Transmutation. So this one was in Demonic Packs, the most recent old school league, and it lets you take like oak logs, and then you can either turn those oak logs into willow logs, or you can down transmute them to regular logs. So it makes it so that you kind of just get access to the top tier resources very quickly. And in the old school league, it made it so that you could rush a lot of high point tasks, which I took that and I got to the final tier very quickly. I was within probably the top 1% of people to achieve the last tier. And that a big reason was transmutation. It kind of doesn't scale super great in the late game. You kind of hit this situation where you have kind of hit all those point tasks and now it's just a spell. It does get you 99 or 120 magic pretty good. So to rush those, reach your first 99 tasks, your first 120, maybe like your first, you know, I don't know what all the XP thresholds are, but there's probably going to be a reach your first 200 mil. This is a good way to kind of passively do it. Let's see if there's anything different. Grants the deity's transmuter. Alchemical spells transmute items. So yeah, it replaces like low elk, high elk, but it's toggleable, so you can get those back if you want them. Transmutation spell bank noted products. Okay, so you can have the products you're making sent to the bank rather than in your inventory, and you can do it on noted. 10 at a time. Low alchemy, high alchemy, transform into new spells, divine convergence, downgrades up to 10 resource into a lower tier. So you can have a stack of like 5,000 oak logs noted in your inventory, in your, yeah, and then convergence or divergence them. Divine divergence upgrades the 10 resources into the next tier. Deity's transmuter must be in inventory to cast these spells, so it'll just be sitting down in the corner next to your stack of whatever you're transmuting. Using items on the deity's transmuter will display what they can turn into. So it'll kind of tell you, at least in old school, it was kind of just raw resources. Ores, wood, so logs, ores, runes. The nice thing about the runes part of it too, you could you could convergence all the way down to pure essence. So then it gave you, you could buy runes from a shop, convergence them down to pure essence, and then you have all the pure essence you need to train rune crafting. Both spells have no level requirement. The spell gives 10 magic XP for each item before league multipliers. Okay, that's pretty huge. Say you have like a 8x multiplier, which should be like kind of early. You transmute 10 items. That's 100 base times 8. That's 800 XP per cast. And it automatically recasts. That's the last little bit there. That's how it worked in old school too. So you're just getting constant 800 XP drops, and then if you get the 1200 XP drops, you really get lots of magic XP from that. So yeah, that's very nice. I'm assuming when they're releasing these, it's going to be in the same tier. Divine Druid. It's just kind of too good, especially when you pair it with either Endless Harvest or Survivalist. Because of this, you get Grimy Herbs and Charms when you're skilling, and like how fast you make potions and how important Herb Lore is. I believe Transmutation is probably going to be the point rusher relic still, like it was in old school, just because you can get those high tier resources so fast. If it comes down to these two, probably going Divine Druid, but we'll have to wait and see if they're in the same tier or what tier they are. And then in my last video, I missed down at the bottom, they had some other FAQ. So in this one, I'll go over that quick. The league starts August 10th and September 21st. So you got a little over a month. Will shops have infinite stock? Shops will have a simplified infinite stock available on release. Every time you buy an item, it refills the slot again. So you can buy, say a shop has 100 runes. You can buy 100 at a time, but it never depletes. You can't buy 20,000 at once, but as high as the shop stock goes is how many you can buy at a time, but it instantly refreshes. Does Crystal Essence from the Crystal Grace Relic stack? The Essence stacks, and while skilling, you gain Crystal Essence drops in 5 to 15 when consuming. When consuming at altars, you use 200 in a single action. So that's huge. It's a stackable essence, which means you can just grab it, go to a rune crafting altar, and just spam click the rune crafting altar, and you'll just get insane XP per hour. Can Golden Hawk feathers be offered at altars for more XP? This is the Golden Touch relic. The feathers can be offered at altars and are just usable from your inventory. Either left click or use alchemy spells to get the coins. Okay. So you just use them on altars like bones, or you elk them to get the money. Will the Dragon Forge be accessible for breaking down items into Masterwork Essence if I don't pick Handarin? Yes, in leagues you can break down items into Masterwork Essence at any anvil. Okay. So that's nice for your Masterwork stuff. You have to get like armors from Nex and blah blah blah. And you'll just be able to break them down at any anvil instead of having to need Kandarin, because nobody's going Kandarin. Where do we start? Our lodestones automatically unlocked. Start in Lumbridge. You get the Lumbridge and Haven Height lodestones activated, and the other ones you have to activate manually. Wikisync, very nice feature. Kind of make sure you enable this when League starts. Prompted to enable it in the onboarding of the League. Very useful, because when you go to like the League's task page on the wiki, then you can sort it by like percent completed, and then your name, you type your name in there and then sync it, and it'll knock off all the ones you've already done. It's a very good way to be like, okay, what are people completing? Like, what can I complete? And then you can sort it by like, okay, I want to do 80 pointers. Like, what are the most commonly completed 80 pointers? And then you can knock those out. Very helpful to give you a little direction when you get lost. Will we get a task list drop ahead of the launch? Yes. Be sending full, easy, and medium task lists to a wiki team. We'll release the rest of the tasks right before launch. Yeah, so they'll give us all the easy, medium tasks, probably like a day or two before the league. And then when the league drops, the full task list will be released. So this is when you can make your kind of like starting route. A lot of people do like your first 1,000 points, and it's like a hour, 2 hour long kind of list of tasks to knock out. People start cooking on those as soon as they're dropped. I'll probably cook something up too. Is XP from quests and D&Ds affected by the modifier? Yes. There are some niche instances where XP isn't multiplied, but most XP gains will be affected. Okay, that's good. So some quests might be worth doing before they get auto unlocked, or the ones that don't get auto unlocked. Will pets be obtainable? Pets are obtainable and stay unlocked between leagues. They don't transfer over to your main. So if you get a pet during Leagues 2, you'll be able to reclaim it in Leagues 3. While boss spawn timers be sped up, all boss spawn settings have been sped up in the league. There may be some situations where you don't want to be on fastest. Interesting. So maybe they like God of War's dungeons, good example. You set Gardor to fastest, you still have like 10 seconds of downtime. It might be like now you kill Gardor, he's back in like a second, which would be sick. It makes those grinds so much faster, especially when Gardor is a 4-second boss to kill. Having a 10-second respawn timer makes the boss 3 times as long. With region locking being a feature, will invention be accessible? Yes, invention tutorials automatically unlocked, so you don't need to go to Asgarnia. Once you reach level 80 in the relevant skills, you'll be able to discover blueprints at workbenches. Okay, there's a lot of invention workbenches all over. You get some in starting region even and whatnot. So yeah, if you want to use invention machines, you still need Asgarnia to get into the invention guild. What about necromancy and yeah, we get so we get all the necromancy. Still need to get the materials required to upgrade. So like those kind of middle to higher tier armors in necromancy where you need like subjugation pieces, you'll need Asgarnia to go get those from Krill. With region locking in place, how will construction work? Can I still actually access my POH? Yes, it's skipped. You can get started right away. Construction workbench has been added to Lumbridge Smithing Building near the Marketplace Bank, giving everyone access from the start. Once you're ready, you can use any house portal. Okay, yeah. So we get the Brimhaven house portal in Karamja. You can train construction through the workbench prior to that, and then once you get Brimhaven unlocked, you'll be able to get into your house there. With region locking in place, will clue scrolls, tetra compasses, slayer tests, and reaper tests send me to regions I haven't unlocked? No, they're doing the thing where you can only get assigned / clue steps and stuff of things in the regions you have. So there are some metas that evolve around that, like do all your clue scrolls before you unlock X region, because all your clue scroll steps will be like really confined to one area. Will Dungeoneering be region locked, or will Daemonheim have access no matter what region I choose? Daemonheim is locked behind the wilderness, meaning Dungeoneering and the shop are locked behind the wilderness, but you can still train the skill through elite dungeons and sinkholes if you don't take wilderness. This is one of the reasons I say wilderness is like a must take. The rewards from Dungeoneering are so powerful now. You have chaotics, and now you have the ruinous weapons, which are tier 90s with, I believe, tier 100 accuracy. So, to me, wilderness is such a must pick. It's got good Slayer creatures in it, Dungeoneering, and the shop. Big time, big time. How will things such as Masterwork, Death Warden armor work when they require items scattered across multiple regions? If these are rewards you want to pursue, you'll need to plan. Okay, so if you want Masterwork and anything like that that requires multiple regions, you kind of have to make your plan around that. Although they're saying some relics passives, league mechanics may provide alternate ways to obtain certain items, giving you additional options when working towards your gear. Is Ranch Out of Time part of Kandarin or Anachronia? Anachronia Dino Farm is part of Anachronia, and the player on farm tutorial is auto skipped if you pick Anachronia. So you can still do the dinosaur part of player on farms on Anachronia without Kandarin, which is good to know. Does double resources from survivalists mean you also get double XP? You do not get additional XP for the resources you gain. Oh, okay. Survivalist stonks a little bit down, but still, with how fast you're going to be collecting resources in the early game and throughout the whole thing with those overpowered tools, it's strong. Superheated Relic has a chance to spawn Blessed Fire Spirits, so it gives items when collected. What do the spirits yield? The Blessed Fire Spirits can give you Stone Spirits, Uncut Gems up to Dragonstone, Charms, Clues, Coins, or Crystal and Potion Flasks. Okay. Pretty good. Just some extra supplies while you are smithing. Okay, with that being said, we're gonna go over to our tier list and we're gonna slap the new relics in here. I feel like so transmutation in old school was very strong. Some of those higher tier resources are very hard to obtain and pretty scarce in where they are located. Um, in RS3, a lot of the higher tier resources are in multiple spots. So I actually think I'm giving, even though it's a very good way to train up your magic and kind of get that point rush, if they're the way I'm going to be playing leagues, I'm giving it a C. If you're point rushing, it might be closer to A, and there could be an argument for it just being B. But I'm going to put C for now. This Texicol Druid. One second. Pause. Divine Druid. With with how many herbs you're gonna get, summoning solved and summoning's huge. I mean, it's just those are two very good support skills. And then divination. Div is slow, and it's gonna be really slow. So having a way to speed it up even in leagues is gonna be super nice. So I think that's gonna be my second S tier. I think that is going to be the pick over transmutation every time for me. Once again, this tier list might change if we see that relics are in different tiers or we get certain relic tier passives that make some of them not as strong. But right now, this is where I have it sitting. I have Divine Druid and Crystal Grace up in S tier. I think those are going to be really strong picks. All the tier 1 relics are pretty balanced. I think I'm going to leave those all in A. I think you can't go wrong with which one you pick. But the combo of like Endless Harvest and Survivalist with Divine Druid is going to be very strong. And with Crystal Grace, getting those essence that stack to make runecrafting like literally, it'll probably be 200 mil XP plus per hour if you stack up enough of those essence. So it might be a 1 hour 200 mil skill, which is bonkers. That's all for today. To make sure you don't miss the next ones, hit the subscribe, like, comment, tell me what ones you're picking, and we'll see you tomorrow.